23 verse 9, do not speak to fools, for they will scorn your prudent words. The word fool here, it means fat, stupid, foolish. It's the person who doesn't put in any effort. Right? The word prudent words are wise words, specifically words of knowledge and understanding. And to scorn means to disrespect. And when I read this, it made me think of the 35-year-old couch potato living in his mom's basement. And people keep telling him to get up, to do something, to make something of his life, take responsibility for your life, get a job, and he just ignores what they say. That's all right. Chapter 23, verses 10 through 11. Here we saw this once before. Do not move an ancient boundary stone or encroach on the fields of the fatherless, for their defender is strong. He will take up their case against you. So this sounds like something we've already seen, we've already talked about, but now more details are added. Why is it a grave mistake or sin to move the boundary stone of the fatherless? So you have to think, kind of put yourself back in Jewish life and culture. The land was their inheritance. The land was their identity. It was to pass down from generation to generation to generation to generation. Okay? The tribes were given territories. Within those territories, clans were given territory. Within the clans, families were given parcels of land. And that land was to be held on to. That's why they had the year of Jubilee. You got to give the land back to the family because it's got to stay with them. And so if you are moving the boundary stone of somebody who's fatherless, you're not just taking their inheritance, robbing their wealth, but you're stripping them of their identity. Chapter 23, verse 12, it says, apply your heart to instruction and your ears to words of knowledge. Basically, that's the same thing that was said across the page in chapter 22, verse 17. Now, some say that chapter 23, verse 11, marked the end of wisdom sayings of an Egyptian named Amenemhotep. And there are some similarities between these proverbs that we just looked at and wisdom sayings of Amenemhotep, but they're not identical. So it seems like Solomon was familiar with the writings of Amenemhotep, and he liked some of the wisdom of Amenemhotep, and he borrowed some of that and rephrased things. Okay? Wisdom is wisdom, right? If something is true, it reflects God. If something is wise, it reflects God. Whether its source is an Egyptian or an Israelite. And so Solomon understood this wisdom and he appreciated this wisdom. He memorized or collected this wisdom and he paraphrased this wisdom and put it in the book of Proverbs for us. And he reinterpreted it with a Yahweh-loving perspective.